You're now tuned into the most unpredictable podcast on the World Wide Web.
Yo, it's about to shut it.
Shut it! Hosted by Karyn.
Down. Hey!
On major platforms, you are locked in. You know what it is. Pour up a glass of wine, ladies. Let the Henny flow, fellas. And get ready to... It's Karyn Hell live on Say It Loud Radio on your favorite internet platform, streaming live.
Hey, it's another episode of Say It Loud, and you are here with the D from the Blast podcast here in Rockland County. What up, D? It's nice to have you in the hot seat.
Yo, thank you for having me. I'm excited. I am truly excited being on Say It Loud. I mean, we've chopped it up before. We had a great conversation. So thank you for having me, for real.
Of course. I see you're doing so many wonderful things, and I really wanted you to come on and kind of share all the things that you're doing with my listeners and with your platform and what you're doing here in the community and growing. I just felt like it was definitely a space that I needed to share with you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. So tell everybody about yourself first.
Well, I mean, wow, that's a good one to start with. Wow, okay.
Yeah, well,
for real. All right. No, from the gate, I mean, I was born out here, 1980, you know what I'm saying? Just gave my age up, 40 years old. It's nothing. I just turned 40.
Really?
November 14th. Yeah, November 14th.
You don't look 40 at all.
Fellow Scorpio, you know what I mean? So you already know what it is, but I was always here. So I used to make music myself, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I always noticed was we didn't have too many media platforms of our own. Right. You know what I mean? It was always someone else telling the story. It was word of mouth, and you know how that usually gets.
Distorted.
Distorted is the perfect word. And I wanted to be the guy because I stopped making music after a while. I couldn't be 40 years old still trying to do the music thing, and I started when I was like 18, so I couldn't do it forever. So I was like, all right, I need something else. So I was like, you know what? Why don't I fill that void that I noticed since I was making music? And that's why I started the Blast. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what?
Start the Blast.
When did I start?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. The first episode dropped when Nipsey Hussle died.
Okay, so was that last year or 2 years ago?
I think it's going to be 2 years in 2021.
Okay.
It was a year this year. So the 1 year anniversary of the Blast was the 1 year anniversary of Nipsey Hussle's death. Excellent. It's so crazy. It was so ironic because when I dropped the first episode, I fell asleep, woke up, and then I found out Nipsey died. I was like, what?
Yeah, that was heavy. I felt like I knew him and stuff when Nipsey died. I was hurt.
Nipsey had that that next door neighbor, that's my homie off the block energy with him. You know what I mean? So that was pretty deep.
Yeah. So what made you, I mean, I know you started it, but like, as far as like executing how it happened, how did you know how to do that?
I didn't.
I'm
going to keep it so real with you. I didn't. Everything was trial and error. I was learning on the fly. I did not have a clue. I just had the vision, and I knew that I had to like research. Research. I don't think people understand. Like, there isn't a course for podcasting.
Well, now there is. Now there is
because
or they pay, or you have to pay someone to do it. Yeah,
and a lot of it you could learn on your own. A lot of it you could learn on your own, but it's time consuming. And if you're not willing to put in the time,
right,
you're not going to learn anything at all. But I was just so focused on this vision, and I was like, yo, I have to get it done, and I can't wait for anybody else to do it for me. So I was like, let me just do it. First, I had the very first episode on like several different podcast websites. Right. And then I found a distribution app, Anchor.
Right.
From there, took off.
Yeah.
It just took off from there. And then I started focusing on the visuals. You know what I mean? I started noticing that visuals were very important because not all the time, you're not always going to have people tapping in every week to the audio. But
Yeah.
those are the people you want to make sure you keep an eye on, the audio people, because
That's interesting.
those are the true fans. I want to give the audio people so much love because I notice a lot of people don't really talk about the audio people or focus on the audio people, but
Right.
they're your true fans.
That's my focus. I'm always on the audio people. I don't have a visual, and everyone is telling me like, Karyn, you need a visual. That's what everybody's doing now. That's the craze. And I'm like, well, I never did it honestly because I'm like, I'm a girl, and you gotta like have your hair done and your makeup done and all that shit. And if you see me outside, you pretty much gonna see me the way you see me right now on this camera. D. I'm gonna have a hoodie on and some Uggs and some leggings and a ponytail. That's gonna be that. And so I didn't want. For me personally, I didn't want my image to be the only reason people listened. I wanted them to listen because they want to listen. And so that's even why in my logo, you don't see my face, because I didn't want it to be based on who I was. I wanted it to be able to stand on its own. But I'm going to work on adding a visual because people do want to see visuals. And so, you know, I definitely get it. It's a whole nother market of people. To include. And so if you want to grow, you kind of got to grow with the times, especially now with Rona and everybody being in this virtual space.
Absolutely. You know? And one thing I want to say about that, one thing I wanted to say about Rona, it was a gift and a curse for creatives like you and me, because
it was a gift for me.
we had to sit down and really think about what we were going to do with our platforms because we had the time.
Right. I believe I agree with you. I feel like it was a gift and a curse. It was a gift. It was a curse for me in that I saw a change in my numbers. I have this kind of podcast, right, where I just thought in my head, based on the numbers, that people were listening on the way to work and they were listening in the evenings.
Yes.
Based on what I saw on the numbers. And now everybody was home and I'm like, damn, the numbers I used to do in a week, it's taking me a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. And then I realized, well, Karyn, you don't really have that kind of podcast where mom's just going to be playing it in the kitchen. I'm cursing and stuff like that and talking about dick and shit while she's baking cookies for the kids. You understand?
Word.
Like, let me drop you off at school type of podcast. And then as soon as you get out the car, I'm going to put Karyn on. And so I had to kind of realize like, wow, like, okay, people's everyday lives are changing. And so the way they're taking in my content is changing. And so I had to kind of like look at that and be like, okay, how do I still stay true to myself and the integrity of what we're doing for the show and what people want from it, but still understand that these people don't have their lives the way they would have it before. And so that was the curse for me. The gift was, I feel like if I was working at work full time, like 6 o'clock in the morning when I leave my house till 6, 7 o'clock at night, I wouldn't have had the time creatively to continue to grow at the rate that I grew this year.
Absolutely. Because you did grow as well, because you were showing me love too, but I pay attention to your platform and you're growing as well. I see you charting. Want to give you shouts to that.
Oh, so thank you. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh shit. And you know, it wasn't working for a long time. It's still not 100%. Like, I don't know. I have 2 different accounts and it's not pulling the right way. And I spoke up to Apple and then I thought I lost all my data. So I don't know. But I woke up this morning and that was there. So that is kind of dope.
That's very dope. And that's growth. Shout out to you.
Yeah, but I see you. Yeah, y'all are on live radio now. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
How did that happen? How did that happen?
All right. Originally, this goes back to like a year. Me and my boys from like childhood. One of them run VOH basketball, Brett Bronson, and the other one is the CEO of MOR Apparel, Zaki. Okay. And they were invited
right there.
Huh?
I said your community's lit right there.
Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate that for real, because that's one thing we're huge on. You know what I mean? We want to make the community.
That's a lot of strong branding right there.
Yeah, so
that's tough right there.
Yeah. So they were invited to that show on there called Community Rehab, and they were just on there vibing with everyone. And behind the scenes, they spoke to the owners of the radio station. They were like, "Yo, we want to have our own show and we have a host. You know what I mean? You don't have to give us a host. We got one, and that was me. So, and then we continued. That's when I started the MOR VOH basketball experience.
Right.
That was the little episodes we had where I would recap the basketball games they had.
Yeah.
And I guess they were paying attention to that, and then we brought it to the radio station, and then now we're on live radio. So that was
so
a great.
When are you on live radio, and when are you like? What's your schedule like now?
Well, it's not hard for me now because now I'm at the point where I'm like months ahead with recording when it comes to this podcast.
Yeah.
So it's every Sunday, 12 a.m. a new episode drops.
Right.
I'm on the radio 1 to 3 p.m. Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
So it's like Sunday's pretty much my day.
Sunday's pretty busy for you. Yeah, I'm trying to get there. I have a lot of content right now in my computer.
Okay.
That I need to edit. So I'm going to edit it out, and I want to like be ahead because I wasn't, but that was my fault. It's trial and error. I feel like,
trust me, I was there.
I feel like I'm like, oh, well, I got an interview this week. I'll just edit the interview and put it up. And then I don't got an interview. And then I'm like, oh, damn. You know what I mean? So now I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to record what I record, schedule what I reschedule, and I rather have an arsenal of stuff ready versus me waiting on someone. Because then some people are like, yeah, we'll do it, but then can we reschedule? And then I'm like, bro, like I'm about to start taking deposits for interviews and shit because like, yeah, waste my time in 2020. And I'm not being a cocky bitch. I'm just saying, like, I'm supposed to be at Chuck E. Cheese or a birthday party right now, and I can't be there because I have to make myself available. So when they flake on me, it's like, oh, you fucked up my whole plans. You know what I mean? Because now I'm walking around with a laptop and a microphone, and I'm like, I got to find somewhere to record real quick, or I got to stay home. So, I definitely get it.
They have no idea sometimes, and that's why I always make sure I'm on time. I try to come through whenever I'm a guest on somewhere, because one thing that probably annoys me a lot, I don't want to say annoyed, that's a strong word. It's perplexing.
Right.
Because I'm like, this is your opportunity to be on a platform that you see is growing, and you're not seizing it. You're just sitting there like, ho-hum, maybe I'll do it another day, or maybe they'll get over it. Maybe they don't really want me on the show. I'm like, no, I'm actually taking my time
exactly
to, give you shine, because I love what you're doing.
Yeah.
And let's work.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's tough, man. That's why I was glad to hear what you said when you were like, yeah, man. Sometimes they'd be like, oh, I can't do it today. Can we do it another time? And you're like, I'm walking around with a laptop, microphone. I'm like, oh my God, I remember this.
I got the iPad with me, a microphone with me. I've actually built a studio in the house. So like, I won't leave my house if I know I have an interview, so that I can go ahead and record or whatever the case may be. So I make myself available. I've even done other people's show where I'm like, let me take everything with me so that if I'm at my parents' house, I could step into another room. So I don't think people understand like the work that goes into it. Sometimes like I've had some really good interviews and some big people, some names there, but it takes work to be like, can you sit down with me for 30 minutes? First of all, it takes a lot of balls to ask certain people. Some people, it don't matter. You're like, yo, I asked my boy, I asked my girl, it's nothing. And then there's other people where it's just a real ballsy move, you know what I mean? Where you're just like, yo, they're gonna respond, they're not gonna respond, they're gonna do this, they're not gonna do it, and it's like I spend hours like following up with people and emailing, and I don't think people understand sometimes the work that goes into it, you know what I mean? And that it becomes almost like as a podcaster, like a whole lifestyle.
Yes, it is. It is a lifestyle. Because I'm to the point right now, it's all I'm thinking about. It's like put me in a bubble. It's put me in a bubble almost. Like if it has nothing to do with the podcast, it's not on my mind.
Yeah, I'm like that too, but I think it's also because I have like a little bit of OCD. And what I did?
Maybe that's me too. That could be me too.
I also think it makes me happy.
Yes.
And so because it makes me happy and I'm passionate about it, I want to do it. I'm like the type of person, if I like something and I'm passionate about it, I'm going to want to do it, and I'm going to eat, sleep, live, breathe it. And if I don't want to do it, good luck. because you're not getting me to do it. You know what I mean? So for me, I feel like, yeah, I live it because one, it's my brand, but two, also because I'm so excited and passionate about it that it don't even feel like work to me, really.
No, that's the truth. That is the truth. And it makes me happy. That's one. I can agree there. And you're right. I'm the same way. If I'm not really into it, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be sitting there trying to get you on the show because I like what you're doing and I think I can help you out with what you're doing. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's cool. I say it's perplexing, but it's kind of, fun every now and then. And to hit some people up, like you said, it's pretty ballsy to ask people, yo, can you give me 20 minutes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to get the responses from some people, you're like, oh, word? You'll do it?
Let's do it.
And I was like, all right, let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's always fun. Like, I can't wait till 2021 because I'm going to have like some independent artists that are really doing their thing. So it's going to be fun. So when I asked them, I was like, whoa, okay, let's go. Let's do it.
So I was going to ask you, that's my next question. What is the vision for 2021 for the Blast podcast?
Definitely more visuals because I see a market there.
Mm-hmm.
The audio is definitely still going to keep going. I'm never stopping that. That's always going to be my baby.
Yeah.
Like I'm on so many. It's so funny with the audio. I'm catching myself because I usually Google myself just to see the SEO. I Google myself and I'm seeing myself on streaming platforms that I've never even heard of.
No, you don't even have to do that anymore. You get to the point, because I don't put myself on it anymore, but I'll Google myself too. And I'll be like, oh, I swear to God, I wasn't lying when I put this on Instagram. I actually listen to audiobooks now. Because sometimes my brain just needs to step away from all of this. And I was Googling like some books on chakras because I want to learn about chakras. And I was like, I'll just put on the audiobook while I go to sleep. And subconsciously, I'll just be hearing it in the background, right? I'd be doing crazy, weird lady shit like that. So I'm Googling books in Audible, and here goes Say It Loud. I was like, well, I didn't know because I didn't put it on there. But I guess once you just get those main guys, people just start pulling from them.
Yes.
And so I stopped counting because I don't know. My goal when I started was like, if I could get on Apple, Spotify, and iHeart, I'm good.
I'm good.
Because I was like, if I could get on the big dogs, then like anything else after that was crazy. And so when the first time I saw myself on Spotify, I was dumb happy. And then when we got on Apple, I was like, I'm good. And then when we got on iHeart, I was like, I'm better. We on the top platforms out there. Everything else will come. So I feel like once you do those big guys, you'll be okay. And then recently, the last one I submitted to was actually Pandora.
Oh, word?
Yeah, we're on Pandora. I don't know who listens to Pandora, but they took a long time though. They took a long time. So I was like, after a while, I was like, fuck it. But
no, I think they have a pretty large market themselves. So I mean, they have ad spaces. So I'm like, they must. Someone's listening.
Yeah. So, but yeah, some of that legwork you got to do yourself, and then some of it just kind of like happens for you, which is nice, So, what are your goals for 2021 as far as the visuals are concerned? Where is your visual now, on YouTube?
Yes, YouTube Onslaught Multimedia is the YouTube channel. I have like over 100 videos on there, but I have a playlist on there that has the 5 visuals I have now, and the numbers are pretty good because I haven't. Well, lately I have, but before I haven't really been focusing on the visuals, but I've been creating them just to see the market, just to see if people will just watch anyway. You know what I mean? So when I saw there was like a market, like the video I have right now with my boy DJ A1 and Richie Ratchet, it got like 74 views in like 2 days. And I was like, whoa, I wasn't even promoting this like this. I was only promoting the audio side. So I was like, whoa, all right, let me wait till I get like 10 videos. And then I'm going to be like, all right, it's time to start promoting ad space. And
and you can get paid from that. Those YouTubes, I think when you reach like 1,000 subscribers, you can start getting paid by them, and then ad space and stuff like that. And so, I say definitely go ahead and do it.
different streams of revenue. You know what I mean? That's
Well,
how
for
it
me,
works.
I wasn't gonna do it. Like I told you, I wasn't gonna do it. But if we're virtually anyway, like on this right now, we're virtual anyway. Like the people that are listening can't hear me, but the people can watch this. You can either watch it or you can listen to it. So for me now, like this interview, I could just download the audio and I could download the video, and then I could upload the video to YouTube. So the fact that we're in a virtual space allows me to do that. Prior to this, when I was interviewing people in person, I couldn't do that. I'd have to have a camera and set it up and edit it. This, I just download it, and that's that. So so I definitely think
it's our new reality, pretty much.
Yeah, and some people prefer it. Some people rather put on their iPad in the kitchen and listen to it, or at their desk at work or whatever. I feel like like I said, because of COVID and the fact that we are virtual in so many ways, we have to now, like you said, think about how are we going to produce content outside of what we were used to doing.
Absolutely.
And how do you stay relevant? Because that's my next question. Do you feel like it's an oversaturated market?
No. Let me ask you this, because you made a post about this before, so that's why I love this question.
Yeah.
Is bread an oversaturated market?
No, I don't think so. Okay, so this is the way I feel about it, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. When I said I was going to start a podcast, somebody said to me, what's going to make, there's 750,000 podcasts out there. What is going to make your podcast different? And it hurt my feelings. It did. I was a little bit emotional because I was like, why the fuck you hating? You know what I'm saying? Why you being like this?
That's the fact, though.
Point. And then I turned around and I was like, but Rihanna still came out with Fenty and we already had makeup. The supermarket already got 15, 20 different types of bread. There's a whole aisle of bread and laundry detergent and cheese and all kind of stuff. And people just pick their flavor. And so I had to, if I was to walk around,
there it is.
People that like, okay, this is oversaturated market. I can't grow in this. I wouldn't do nothing in life. I wouldn't make a new hoodie. I wouldn't make a new pair of sneakers. I wouldn't make a new baby. Like we've seen them all before. Like, I wouldn't do nothing. And so, are there days where I'm like, damn, there's a lot of women podcasters and there's a lot of, I don't know, because in my mind, and you could tell me because you follow me, in my mind, I don't think there's anybody like me, but then I'm just a cocky son of a bitch. I'm like, I am the key holder of big dick energy. There is no other woman out there that is the key holder that's 5 foot tall and so when I think about that, I'm like, well, there might be other podcasters, but they're not me. And when I look at you, I think the same thing about you. That's why you're sitting in the hot seat with me today. Like the blast is the blast. That's just them. That's their thing. And everybody has their thing. And so I feel like, yes, there's a lot, but you just pick what you like to eat. If you don't like to eat steak, don't eat steak. That's it.
It's like you said, everyone has their flavor. The thing with audio, which I love the most, it's, how sound works, right?
Right.
Once it hits the eardrum and resonates in your brain, you'll know instantly if that's what you want to listen to the whole time.
Right.
So, same thing with flavor. Once you take that first bite and it hits your taste buds, you're going to finish it or not.
Right.
Everyone has their flavor. No, and to go to another point you made, no one's like you. So yes, there's thousands and thousands of podcasts, but there's no one like Karyn, Elle. There's no one like DSP. We are our own flavor.
Right.
So if you tap into us and you like this flavor, you're going to tap in every week. So yes, it's true that yes, there's tons of podcasts. Everybody is doing it, but is everybody as consistent as you are? Is everybody as hungry as we are? You know what I mean? You can convey that through your content. People tend to not notice that, but people like creators like you and me, we see who's really into it.
Right. You know who's working and who's bullshitting.
Yeah. You see that. You can see that.
Yeah. I actually also think though that you have a niche market.
You think so?
I do. I think you have a niche market. I think the fact that so I'm going to start doing a up and coming artist spotlight, but not music necessarily, just more creative kind of space and stuff like that. But I definitely see where you fit as far as giving people voice.
Yes.
And creating a space for people that are up and coming, but not limiting it to just music or not limiting it to just, I really do feel like that tagline where you're like in the county, where you're like the media person for the county. I really do feel like that's justifiable. Like that's real. That's not just something you say from my perception, from where I'm standing. So someone else might see something else, but for where I am, I'm like, all right, I see this man giving these people in this community a platform. And I actually see you tag people and I'm like, I'm gonna go follow them because they got food and I'm hungry. And I like
Thank you. Thank you.
I know some people that play basketball. So I'm like, all right, well, let me go check this out. Or, when it's time to, so I definitely do see where you are doing the work in your community to grow yourself and grow your community. And I think for me, that's the most impressive part. Like it's always impressive when you start a podcast. That's great. That's impressive. It is. But to see that you take that work and that you actually implement it where it could be seen. Because some people be like, I'm doing this, but we can't see you. But you're doing it and I see you. And I think that's really dope that the community itself knows like it's almost like you the News 12. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like we got our own hood TV,
No, I'm glad you said that. Because
it's like, yo, that's where you go for that.
I got to address that. That's so great you said that, because in the beginning, the podcast was more going to be a social, political commentary type of podcast. And then the co-host at the time, I don't know, I guess he didn't believe in the vision or what have you. And then we parted ways. So I was like, I don't know if I could sit here and do social and political commentary by myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was getting repetitive to me and it was getting boring. And I was like, if this starts getting boring, I can't continue to do the podcast. So I was like, yo, I have to do something else. And then that's when I started thinking about when I was doing music. You know what I mean? I was like, there was a void.
Right.
So I was like, I'm going to fill this void. But then it grew. It became more than just music. It became about food services, catering, people that do art, just different people around here doing different things. People that have leagues, people that play ball, just different people in the community. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to fill that void. And the fact that you said News 12.
Because you like our local hood news. Like what's going on in the hood. Like that's what I be checking out. Like where can I get some eats? Where's the game at? Where's the music at? Like that's how I feel. This is from the seat I'm sitting in. I can't talk about nobody else. From the seat I'm sitting in, that's what and I like that because it's executable. You know what I mean? Like I said, a lot of people say this is what I'm doing in the community, but you can't see it. I could physically see this. Like I see you shouting out small businesses in the area. I see you looking at, giving back to the community, events that are going on. Like literally, it's like News 12.
And when people ask me, yo, who are you in competition with? And I tell them News 12. And they look at me like I'm crazy.
Nah, like, I don't even think you're in competition with News 12. I think you got this lane all to yourself, my man. Because I can't think of anyone that that you're competing with in the county. And I live here, where you could go to, and it is, I don't want to exclude anyone, but like content, urban content for the people. That's really what it is. It's urban content for the people, but it's healthy urban content for the people. It's not fuckery. It's not nonsense. It's not a comedy show. At the same time, you don't feel bogged down by it, you know?
Yes.
And so
that's what I wanted to convey. Thank you.
I think that's dope. Like I definitely receive it and I see it and I respect it. And I'm very proud of you. And I think that there's I think you got this lane all locked up by yourself, man. Like I don't really see anybody else like, doing what you're doing at that level here. And I think adding the component of the radio station's only going to make it bigger.
Thank you so much. And when I got the radio station gig, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, yo, now it's really gonna get much bigger because with the radio station gig, we're having visuals as well. So we have the double market with that as well. And I'm like, they're seeing me there, they're seeing me, they're hearing me there.
Right.
Now they're gonna try to be like, all right, who is this guy? And they're gonna come to the podcast, they're gonna be like, whoa, wait a minute, what? Wait,
what have I been missing? Yeah, what have I been missing?
Exactly. Yeah. So just to hear you saying what you're saying, it means a lot to me because it's like, okay, people are seeing what I'm doing. Now I got to go even harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but that's light work for you.
I mean, yeah, you see the work I do. You see, so that's why you're like, oh, it's light work. There's nothing. You'll be fine.
I'm not worried about you in the least. I think you'll be fine.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get into some fuckery.
Okay. Let's
get into some fuckery. So a while back, I made a post. I think I made a post yesterday too about a work husband.
Yes.
And you hit me up and you was like, what is a work husband? What that mean?
Yes. Please.
I was laughing so hard because I was like, what is he talking about? How he don't know what a work husband is? So what is your interpretation of a work husband?
Well, husband is a very strong word, so I'm like, work husband. Okay. So I'm like, yo, is this someone that, like, if you were interested in, it would go down and, it's just friends with benefits type of thing, and then you just give them the title of work husband, or is it just like a platonic title? And it's just for me,
it's always been a platonic title.
Okay. Because I've heard stories, and I've heard the word. Well.
What stories have you heard?
I mean, I've heard stories of married women, laying up with their work husband.
Well,
and I'm like, wait, what's this work husband thing? That's why when you said it, I was like, there's the word again. What is this? Who constructed work husband? Who did this?
There is such a thing called a work husband.
Okay.
And basically, it's a gentleman at work in which a woman will tend to befriend.
Okay.
It's not like your regular friends at work. He's a little bit more special than the other guys at work. Like your work husband, like when I had a work husband at work, go ahead.
Special?
I mean, he's just not like your regular, he's not like the other guys, Like,
okay.
So I work in an office.
What makes this one different, special?
He's cool people. I like him a little bit more than I like everybody else.
Okay.
Or I spend more time with him. I've seen women just spend more time with their work.
You click.
Yeah, you click, and it's platonic.
Yes.
In some cases, it's gotten to be more, not for me, but other women has gotten to be more because you're spending time with this person all the time.
Okay.
I've actually had a work husband where I'm like, you gonna go eat? Yeah, we're gonna go eat. All right, let's go. And then you're having lunch together, and it's like, well, I don't have time to go out. Can you pick me up something? All right, I got you. And so it's just a little bit more. It's not like I treat you like just the other people at work. Like, hi, what's up? How you doing? It's like, yo, this is my homie. And it's like your work bestie, but it's not a female, it's a male.
Okay.
In some cases, he might be good looking because you don't want to hang out with ugly people. You know what I'm
saying? Hey, I'm not judging. I am not judging.
And yeah, that's pretty much how that works.
Like I said, the word work husband threw me off because I've heard it before, but not in a great context. So I was like, Karyn, what are you doing? I mean, granted, you're not with anyone. You're a single woman. You're doing your thing.
Like work husbands be mad cool. They be coming through. Like I couldn't open up something in my house. It's just
told me that.
I could not open a jar or something in my house. I sure enough took it to work, and my work husband opened it for me. And I held it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just take it to work because tomorrow Mr. Brown gonna open this for me. And sure enough, I got to work and I was like, can you, like work husband is nice. It's just that he only at work.
Okay. I'm just saying because when you I don't know if people know, man. When you bring the fuckery, you be bringing the fuckery on your page now because whoo,
Good
you be
time.
having me in tears with some of the posts you be having. So I didn't see the one that you posted today about the work husband. But
Yeah.
I'm sure it's probably crazy knowing you. Let me see if I can find you right quick.
Yeah, it's one where he's cooking bacon and eggs at the desk. Because she said her man don't cook for her, so her work husband was cooking for her.
That is funny. Wait, hold up.
I mean, work husbands be coming through. Y'all be sleeping on the work husbands. If I was a dude, I would not trust the work husband, by the way. I would just tell. Like, if my girlfriend said she had a work husband, I'd be careful, guys. I would.
But you said it's platonic. See,
It is platonic, but it's like you're a little too kiki over there. You know what I mean?
I see it. I had to like it. He has those sausages and bacon on there.
Right, because she said her man don't cook for her. So her work husband brought the whole griddle into work, put it on his desk, and was making bacon and eggs. I ain't mad at sis.
I am weak. See, this. You know what this looks like though? This looks like the man going an extra mile for a woman that he like.
Yeah, but it's easy to like the people that you work with and spend time with all day long.
That's true.
It's easy
That's
to get
true.
caught up in that nonsense.
You spend a lot of time with people at work.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
it's easy for people to end up getting into those situations or confiding in people in those
Yes.
situations where those types of things happen. Sorry for you. I don't know.
So true. It's so true.
Yeah, I mean, I think people aren't honest about it, but there's a reality that happens.
No, it is. It is.
Oh well, it is what it is. Like,
And you've mentioned that on one. I think it was the very first. No, it was probably the second episode because the first episode I heard from you was weak bitch tendencies.
Everybody loves weak bitch tendencies. That is my number one episode to date.
That episode is amazing. It's amazing.
Everybody still loves weak bitch tendencies. And I have to tell you, when I recorded that episode, I was like, this is mad hard. They gonna hate me after this. That's it, I'm done. That's what I was like, that's it, I'm done. Like, I went so hard on the ladies. I was like,
you were in your element. Oh my goodness. You were in your element. That's when I was like, yo, she got it, yo. She got it.
I'm actually gonna go back and remaster it because it sounds like shit compared to the audio equipment I have now. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna keep that same rugged shit the way.
Keep it rugged. Yes, keep it raw. That's right.
It was basically, and still is today. I got the t-shirts on the website. It's basically there's weak bitches out here with weak bitch tendencies.
It's a fact.
And a lot of women don't know that they're a weak bitch and they have weak bitch tendencies. We needed to talk about it. Like, if you outside with your man, and you know what? When you 17 and 18 and 19 and your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed, I'm gonna let you slide.
Facts.
With your behavior. I don't condone it, but I'm gonna let you slide. But you see, you 29-year-old, 39-year-old woman outside acting a goddamn fool, weak bitch tendency.
Yes. You should know better.
Shit in the car. You don't be bringing that shit outside. Come on, now. We too grown for that. So it basically was an episode that goes through it's weak bitch tendencies 101. Like, what are some of the things that make you a weak bitch? Like, I just feel like there's things that women need to understand and men need to understand too. Like, don't perpetuate that shit. Don't allow people to act like that, or don't get yourselves in a situation where you like giving into that kind of shit. Like, there's a certain age group where that shit is just not cute no more. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of women, and I say this on my show all the time, talking about, well, I'm a psycho and I'll stab someone. Sis, you need help.
Yeah. You need therapy. Yeah.
Hug you. This is not okay. Or like, you can't break up with me. The fuck you mean? I did an episode on this. The fuck you mean I can't break up? This is an at-will relationship. I'm an at-will employee. The fuck you mean I can't break up with you?
I remember that one. Yep. I remember that episode. Yep.
Well, I just don't understand where these mentalities come from and why people think like it's okay. And then men and a lot of women are like, damn, you always siding with the dudes. I'm not always siding with dudes.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Honesty of life, right? Like, it's not okay to, and I have a son. And if some woman lay her hands on my son, he got 2 sisters. I'm sending them.
Yeah.
One of them is a little bit more crazy.
She said, I'm sending them. That's it. That's it.
That's it. Don't touch it, because there's women out here too, like beating up. And until I had a son of my own, I probably didn't really care, or I didn't think anything of it.
It's a fact.
No, but I'm somebody's mama, and I have a son. Let some chick try to beat my son up. Okay, I'm gonna tell not him. Don't put your hands back on her. Go call your sisters. That's what you got 2 older sisters for. I'm gonna go over there and take. Like, that's not okay.
Nope, that's a fact. Okay. You should do something on that. Men getting battered. That's a fact. That would be a great episode.
A lot of men that are sitting around going, well, she's just like that. The fuck is, where's your mama? Why she let you think that's okay? She better put her slippers on and go over there like she would have went if you was a 12-year-old kid. Like, I don't want my son getting arrested, but I don't want him with no woman that's beating him up.
Beating on him. That's a fact. That's a fact.
People be like, well, don't put your hands on me. And I get it. You're not supposed to hit women.
No, you're not. You're not.
People, both men and women, when you hit someone, you need to be prepared to get hit back.
Yeah.
Dudes, I'm about 5'1", and on a good day about 135 pounds, but not right now. You know what I'm saying?
You are funny, yo. I swear you're funny. You're too funny.
You know, I don't hit dudes because I know that I'm gonna get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna pick me up and throw me. So and I, you know, I tend to like men that are, you know, they ain't little scrawny dudes. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel you.
I know better. Like, sis, you need to know better. You need to know better. So I feel like that episode, we really need to enlighten each other just as a sense of community, and as Black people, like, we got to stop being like that, and then teaching our children that same behavior. You know, like, I talk about it and it's funny, but it's really not. Like, you know, young woman sees her mother doing that to her father, she's gonna end up in the same relationship.
And that's the beauty in what you do. You're very specific. You know what I mean? You give very relatable scenarios where people are like, wow, yeah, I actually went through that. I understand what she's talking about. You give them the opportunity to empathize with what you're talking about. Yeah. And I think that's what you do so well. And I'm like, not every podcaster can do that.
I don't know. I started much like yours, though. I started out just like you, thinking like, oh, I was going to have a co-host, and there would be other people on the show more regularly. Like, who the hell am I going to talk to? And then again, it got hard, the scheduling, and everybody's living their own life. And then somebody hit me up and was like, Karyn, you know, I think you could possibly do this on your own. And I was like, you think? Because I don't have nobody to record with. And, you know, look how the year turned out. Within a couple months, we're in Rona, right? And then I was like, fuck it, I'll just start recording on my own, because it was just hard to commit and get people to commit to, you know. No, it's not a bad thing. It's just life is life, and
life is life. Yeah.
And so they were like, I think you could carry the show on your own. And so and then that's just what I did. So if I can get guests, great. The guests come on, we have a good time. And if I can't get any guests, or I have a topic, I just go ahead and I just do it by myself. And I never really gave it much thought as to the fact that, until just now, when you're like, damn, you do that by yourself. I was like, yeah, I guess so, you know. But it's fun. I have a good time, and I'm inspired by the things that you do and other people do.
Thank you.
Share and kind of recognize and have a good time with it, and see the work that you do. So what's next? What are we doing for 2021? We got the radio show, we got the visuals. What do we want for like the brand, and what do we want? Like, what's the long-term goals?
Like I said, I'm going to continue to do the audio visual for the Blast podcast, of course, but I noticed there's a good market in the visual side. Mm-hmm. So there's some of the shows that I do like exclusively on Instagram. Mm-hmm. I want to make them like an actual visual show on Slot Multimedia, like DSP Smoke Break, like DSP Seal of Approval. I want to start making that like an official visual on YouTube to help grow that visual, help pretty much be in that market, because I was focusing a lot on the audio, which I'm not going to stop for the past 2 years. So I'm like, all right, let me get on to the visual side and see what I could do there. Because with the radio show, the visuals are going to be crazy. So that's going to be a monster within itself. So I can't wait till that takes off.
Do you edit yourself, or somebody edits for you?
That's that. Like I said, that's a team effort. Mm-hmm. So that's Insatiable Productions, a visual team that MOR and VOH basketball work with. So they're going to be handling all the visuals with that, and they do an amazing job. Like they'll make it look like a movie. So it's going to be crazy. I just can't wait till like, because I can see it now and be like, wow, this is going to be nuts. But some people will just look at it and be like, okay, whatever. It's one video. And I'll be like, okay, you'll see later on what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So I can't wait for that. But
to be able to do that, it takes a real artist to be able to visualize.
A visionary, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Some people don't see that.
No, they don't.
To kind of like figure that out on there.
And I think that's what helps us keep going. Because we see something and we're like, yo, I know it could be this. So I'm going to go to that point to see if it's not that, okay, I wasted my time, or I'm like, I knew what I saw. You know what I mean? So
I think I'm at a place, and I think you're at the place too, where you kind of know what your gut is telling you, whether other people see it or not.
Yes. You know, confident.
Sometimes you gotta just be like, yo, let me just do it, and you'll see. You know, because everyone's gonna see it before you see it, which is what makes you a visionary.
Yes.
And a creative. You know, and that's your gift, and that's how you share it with the world. Not everybody has the same gift. So I think that's the way you got to kind of like look at that, you know.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, D, for coming on to the show. Let everybody know where they can find you, the Blast, the radio, all that.
All right. The Blast Podcast, you can find me on Instagram. That's at THABLASTPODCAST. The radio show is Never Tuck Your Town Radio. Conventional spelling all the way through, nothing fancy. You can follow me on Twitter. That's DSPTHEGR8. Also on Twitter, Onslaught Promo. That's pretty much the promotional page for Onslaught Multimedia. You're going to find all the visuals for the podcast and all the independent visuals that I've done before. Great platform. And when you get on the podcast page on Instagram, click the link in the bio. My link tree is crazy, so please tap in. It's fun, please.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karyn, for having me.
Of course, I'm so happy to have you. I think that you're doing amazing things. That's why you're here. I think I'm excited to see what the future is going to be like. I'm going to be standing by, rooting for you. I'm going to show up a couple times too.
Yes,
we're going to work together for sure. But yeah, so thank you so much for this episode. Don't go nowhere. And we out. How did I bring my dreams alive? Why, with a Anchor podcast, of course. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor does the hard work and distributes your podcast for you so you can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can even make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to Anchor FM to get started.